Alright, Detroit Red Wings season preview. Yeah, well, I mean, last year wasn't very good, was it? I mean, the last few haven't been great. This team kind of mortgaged a bit of its future to just keep that playoff run going. Steve Yzerman is now the GM, so I think obviously I've got a little bit more faith in what the rebuild's going to do. The biggest problem for this team, but is the last few years they have not drafted very well. I'm talking like 2015 to probably like 2018, or maybe 16. A lot of their first round picks just haven't worked out. Svechnikov, those sort of players, they're not really NHL caliber, at least at this point, and they could really use a player like that to come in and just help things. Last year was the worst points per game season in the modern era. They're on track to have just an absolutely terrible season. I think it was like 44 points or something on those lines. They're on track to get if the season finished. And they were kind of weak all over the shop. Their first line's not bad. Like Larkin and Mantha and those sort of players are good NHL high caliber players, but the golf there is really low. But they've done some interesting moves this year, and so we'll run through it. First things first is they got Grice in to play in goal in net. I think the year that Howard it really was a trooper for this team for a long period of time. He just doesn't have it anymore. And it was also in front of like probably one of the worst defenses and the worst offenses in this league. So if they were going to win games, they really needed him to stand on his head. He kind of did the opposite. It was just a disaster all around. So getting in Grice automatically wins them games. So this season won't be anywhere near as bad as the last season. So they got rid of Howard, Abdelkader in a buyout, Jonathan Eriksson and Trevor Daley. And then they've brought in Mark Stahl, but bear in mind they got picks to bring in Mark Stahl, so that was quite a good trade. Bobby Ryan, Merrill, Grice, Troy Stretcher, and Nemesnikov. Now, a lot of those pickups that they picked up, as I put my phone down now, a lot of the pickups that they picked up are on very short deals, which is great. It buys them another year and it doesn't force the youth to come up. You don't want players like Sider or Raymond being forced into this team right now. It's just going to hurt the development. Plus, they've got some other lesser-known names in the wings that might be able to come in and give us a bit of help, and you don't want them involved in this at the moment. So these veterans coming in is great. The other thing is that it's trade bait. They have a lot of second-round picks next year. They've got 3. They don't have any firsts. A player like Stetcher coming into the lineup for, because Vancouver couldn't hold on to him is great. I don't think he's like a top-line defender, but he's good. Good puck-moving defender. It's something they don't have. So they've been able to fix a fair few of their areas to make them a better team. However, I still think they're last in this division. The only thing that could help them is the Blackhawks have a lot of injuries and no goaltending. Blackhawks might be worse than this team. We'll soon find out how that all goes. And plus, there's also the whole thing of like the Blue Jackets having a lot of people out with COVID. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all works. But it's a bit rough, this one. I think to think that they're going to have a year that will put them anywhere near a playoff spot. I think the best they can do is beat the Blackhawks. That's probably the best they can do, unless a team really just shits. I just can't see anyone else in this division being as bad as this team's lineup. And again, it's because they haven't drafted well over a long period of time. So it's not bad to rebuild. Yeah, they got a bit unlucky in the draft lottery last year, but also at the same point, they haven't drafted well for a few years now, so they need to get things right. And they took a bit of a risk going with Raymond. Not that he's a bad player or anything, but it was the first pick that was kind of like, a lot of people had him 8th or 9th, and you could have got like Jamie Drysdale, who was great, by the way, or Sanderson, who looked quite good as well. So they could have got a quintessential defender for the next 15 years, but that's the way it is. There's not really much else to talk about this team. It's just they're not putting a lot of youth in. They're not blocking the youth. I think that's something that some fans are like, they're blocking the youth. I think they're protecting them and giving them another year, and they've signed 1-year deals and they can trade them away. And then when they're ready, after playing some times in the AHL, bear in mind the AHL season's been delayed. They can come up and get a few games in the NHL, and then they can sort of go from there and see what they've got by the end of the season. But they're able to trade players away and get some picks back, even though there'll be certain restrictions and whatnot. I think teams will still be open to trading picks away for players and just forego that their player won't be there for a week. It's going to be hard to trade away a player for a week and then just not have someone fill in that roster spot for a bit. So yes, so that's what I think it is for the Red Wings. Probably not going to be a great season again, but it's not going to be terrible. I think they'll be more competitive in games. We got to go see players like Larkin and Mantha, another year, see how well they can do in this league. But yeah, it's just not like, outside of that first line, maybe the second, the rest is not NHL caliber, I don't think, and the defense really isn't. I think they got Stetcher and Morel at the last pairing, which is a very good last pairing defenseman, but like after that, it's just not great. Anyway, guys, if you did like this video, hit the like button. Otherwise, hit subscribe down below. I know, again, it's not really much in depth, but there's not much you can talk about this team. Yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see. It's play the vets, get some picks. It's just that stepping stone for a rebuild, right? They're going to be a few years away from causing any damage, and this is going to be one of those quintessential years of, if you play it right, can help you 3 or 4 years down the road. But yeah. Anyway, comment down below. Do you agree with me about the Red Wings, or do you think they're a playoff contender? Crazy if you are. Absolutely bonkers, but yes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you, and bye.